Welcome. Today, we are going to talk about a fundamental part of English that you use all the time, probably without even thinking about it. We're talking about the imperative mood. Right? They're all short, they're super direct, and they're powerful. Every single one is giving a command. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, the grammar of how we get things done. Okay, so to really get a handle on how to use imperatives, let's kick things off with a nice, simple definition. So yeah, that's the official textbook definition, but let's break it down. In simple terms, imperatives are just the verbs we use when we want to tell someone to do something. The really cool thing about them is the subject, you, is almost always invisible. It's understood, but we don't say it. So when a sign says stop, what it really means is you stop. It's direct, it's clear, and you're about to see just how versatile it is. You know, you think imperatives are just for shouting orders, like stop, but they're used in so many different ways. You might be giving instructions, like open the package carefully, or maybe some friendly advice, like, hey, get some sleep. They can even be urgent warnings, don't touch that, or really warm invitations, like come to the party. And here's the best part. Forming imperative sentences is honestly one of the easiest things you'll ever do in English grammar. I promise, there are no complicated rules you have to memorize. And that's it. No, seriously. You don't have to worry about adding an S or an ED or ing. You just take the verb in its most basic form. Think of it as the infinitive without the to. So you get sentences like, listen to this, or open your book. And don't forget that invisible subject we talked about. It's always, you listen to this. It's just so clean and direct. Now check out how simple it is to flip a command from positive to negative. If you want to tell someone not to do something, all you have to do is add one little word right at the beginning. So the formula is just this simple. You start with don't, which is just short for do not, and then you tack on the base verb. For example, don't forget or don't be late. It's the same simple, consistent rule every single time. So easy to remember. Now, just because imperatives are direct doesn't mean they have to be rude, right? So let's get into how you can soften your commands to be more polite, and also how you can include yourself in a suggestion. This is how you turn an order into a real collaborative idea. You know, tone really is everything. A direct command, like come here, can sound a little harsh depending on the situation, but you can easily make it way more polite just by adding words like please, as in please sit down. Or you could rephrase the whole thing as a question. There's a subtle difference, right? Please come here is still a command, just a polite one. But could you come here? Well, that's a request, and it often feels a lot softer. Oh, and let's is such a fantastic tool for making suggestions. It's just short for let us, and it completely changes the dynamic of what you're saying. Instead of telling someone what to do, you're basically inviting them to join you. Let's go to the swimming pool feels so much more collaborative than just go to the swimming pool. All right, so you've seen the definitions, you've learned the rules, now it's your turn. Let's put this knowledge into action with a couple of quick exercises. You ready? Okay, take a second and think about this one. We need a negative command, and our verb is smoke. Remember that little two-step formula we talked about? You got it. Please don't smoke in this area. You just start with don't and add the base verb smoke. Nicely done. Okay, here's the next one. This is just a simple positive command. The verb is to go. So what's the base form you need here? Perfect. The instruction is simply go upstairs. See? Just the base form of the verb. Easy, right? Ooh, this is a great one. The verb be can sometimes feel a little tricky for people. But how do we make a negative imperative with it? Well, the rule is exactly the same. Excellent. Don't be late for school. See? Even with a verb like be, the formula still works perfectly. You just put don't right in front of the base form. So now that you have these tools in your pocket, I've got a question for you. How are you going to put them into practice? Maybe you're giving a friend some advice, or you're writing instructions for a coworker, or just making a suggestion for dinner. Start to notice how often you use them. Now, go out there and command the English language.